Brought to you by DK Audio.
DK Audio presents Everything I Know About Hormones, written and read by Hannah Alderson. This book is dedicated to every woman who has ever felt brushed off, and to your health and happiness. The journey starts now. Introduction. As I sit here, I feel incredibly lucky. I've worked hard on my hormones, health, happiness, and career. But like most things, there was a dash of luck involved. I was lucky enough to trust my gut and ask more questions, not taking no for an answer when doctors brushed me off. I was lucky enough to have private healthcare, a supportive family, and access to education, which helped me pivot my career and take my wellness into my own hands. I'm now lucky to live symptom-free with two beautiful children, Otis and Dusty, something I once thought impossible. I'm lucky to support women daily in my clinic, women who were once lost and overwhelmed like me. The best luck of all, though, is sharing everything I know about hormones and sprinkling a little luck your way too. It's a privilege to reflect on my own hormone story as I write this. And I'm not going to lie, it's been a wild ride. As many listeners will know firsthand, hormones don't always follow the script. My hormone story. Throughout my teenage years, my periods were often irregular and painful. Back in the 90s and early 2000s, going on the pill was the norm. And like most kids my age, I started taking an oral contraception pill at age 16. It was a disaster for me, negatively impacting my weight and mental health and leading me to suffer from terrible mood swings. I was then put onto a different oral contraceptive that I continued to take for several years. I grew up during a horrendous era for diet culture and body image. My toes still curl when I remember walking into my first diet club meeting at 16 with my mum, held in an echoey village hall where nutritional advice was being dished out as quickly as the branded diet bars. This was where my journey with yo-yo dieting began, driven by a constant fluctuating weight due to a condition called polycystic ovarian syndrome, or PCOS. Despite exhibiting all the most common symptoms at the time, I didn't know that I had PCOS, and I wouldn't receive my diagnosis until 5 years later. So what is PCOS? It's an endocrine disorder driven by an imbalance of hormones, typically producing excessive amounts of testosterone, cortisol, and insulin. A collection of specific symptoms unique to each individual. PCOS can be linked to insulin resistance, inflammation, and high stress. Symptoms often include irregular or absent periods, fluctuations in weight, anxiety, fatigue, excess hair growth, sleep issues, and skin conditions. As my weight fluctuated ever more dramatically during my late teens, my preoccupation with dieting deepened. My changing body shape, mixed feelings with anxiety, erratic cycles, and unusually long periods made me feel low, lost, and lackluster. I couldn't understand what was wrong. In my early 20s, I finally decided to come off the pill. However, my period didn't reappear. My doctor told me this was nothing to worry about, but a year and a half later, it still hadn't returned. And with continued weight changes and congested skin, my feelings of anxiety were crippling. I could not understand why my body felt so unstable. Why did I suddenly become short of breath in mildly stressful scenarios? Why did I catastrophize the small things? Why did my excess weight center around my middle? Why was I constantly tired? Why was my skin so inflamed and spotty? Outwardly, I presented as being a bright, popular drama scholar who went on to get a first-class honours degree and the Royal National Theatre Student Award. But underneath it all, I felt like a failure. Was I failing at being a woman because I wasn't having periods? Was I failing at...
Sample complete. Ready to continue?